Hi, I'm Teresa Chang.
Hi, I'm Marianne McCara.
Hi, I'm Felicia Grant Cummings.
Hi, I'm Kim Johnson with Moms Navigating Autism.
Hi, welcome to Moms Navigating Autism. I'm Teresa Chang.
Kim Johnson.
Marianne McCara.
Brenda Torres.
Felicia Grant Cummings.
Autism is year-round. Accept your child for who they are. Teach them to be the best that they can be. Be a proud autism parent. It's not easy parenting a child with autism. They are not bad parents, and their child is not a bad child. Not all autism children are the same. It is a broad spectrum. The next time you see a child out of control, don't be quick to judge them or their parents. Walk in their shoes for a minute. These people need understanding, not criticism. If people just took a minute to understand and accept autism, the world would be a better place for everyone. Opwdd, Office of People with Developmental Disabilities. New York's state agency tasked with providing funding and services to individuals with disabilities. Opwdd allows people with disabilities to access supports and services that can help families to support their child to live in their family home. Opwdd can provide assistance for your child to live on his own in a community of his choice. Opwdd can provide assistance accessing services your child needs to live his life. Opwdd can help your child with work, volunteer or community involvement, including connecting with clinical or therapeutic supports. Access VR. In New York State, Access VR assists individuals with disabilities to achieve and maintain employment and to support independent living through training, education, rehabilitation and career development. For more information on Access VR, go to www.access.nysed.gov/VR or call 1-800-222-5627. What are day habilitation programs? Day habilitation programs assist people to acquire, retain or improve their self-help, socialization and adaptive skills, including communication, travel and other areas in adult education. Activities and environments are designed to foster the development of skills and appropriate behavior, greater independence, community inclusion, relationship building, self-advocacy and informed choice. Placing your autism child in a residential home. One of the hardest things autism parents face is having to consider the need for a residential placement. This can be an emotionally heart-wrenching experience. No matter how much we love our child and make every effort to care for them at home, a person with autism may need higher levels of specialized care, support and supervision. Their needs may be better met in a residential setting. While the goal for autism children is to keep them in a community and home environment, at times, this isn't possible, due to safety concerns or the intensity of their needs. A residential setting is one where a child receives 24-hour care and supervision, 7 days a week. A group home is a smaller setting within a community for youths requiring less strict supervision. For adults with autism, moving into a group home, this can be an exciting time of transition. Five basic types of autism research studies, each designed to answer different kinds of questions. Number 1. Case studies. A case study is when research is done on the development of a particular person, group or situation over a period of time. Number 2. Correlational studies. A correlational study seeks variables that appear to interact with one another. Number 3. Longitudinal studies. Longitudinal studies give information about how people develop over time. Number 4. Experimental studies. Experimental studies are controlled, so researchers manipulate one variable to determine its effect on other variables. Number 5. Clinical trial studies. A clinical trial is a research study that looks at how a new medical treatment or procedure works on people.
The IDEA. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Section 300.43 of the Individuals with Disabilities Act, IDEA, mandates that transition planning is part of the education process for students with disabilities so students can leave high school with skills needed for the future. To obtain an online version of the IDEA, go to https://sites.ed.gov/IDEA/statute regulations. Parents of students with disabilities should ensure that a transition plan with measurable transition goals for their child is in place on their IEP by the time their child is 16 years of age, or preferably sooner.
The American Disabilities Act and student athletes. The ADA specifies that students with disabilities must have the same opportunities to participate in sports and activities as anyone else. Equal access to team facilities, including fields, courts, locker rooms, meeting areas, exercise equipment, and other amenities must be provided. Accommodations for athletic venues are quite specific and cover everything from seating space, the number and placement of restrooms, elevators, and signage requirements. New facilities must be built with these guidelines as part of the design, while older facilities may be required by law to implement these provisions retroactively. However, equal access does not mean special treatment or give any student an advantage over others. All school districts, colleges, and universities are legally required to make reasonable access available to people with disabilities. Coaches and athletic administrators might need to make appropriate accommodations to allow students to participate. The ADA defines disability as a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities of such individual. Further, it prohibits discrimination for those it covers. If you are a student or an aspiring athlete, you may require accommodations under the ADA to accomplish your academic and athletic goals. The Act extends protection to all students in their academic pursuits and in extracurricular and athletic programs. Because you qualify for special accommodations, you will have to submit proper documentation. Usually this will consist of a statement from your doctor or therapist. This includes a one-to-one aid. If a student needs a one-to-one aid in school, it is likely they will require one for after-school activities. The ADA requires school districts to provide that aid. Most colleges have designated offices with personnel serving students with disabilities to assist you with obtaining that required documentation. Students with disabilities can reap tremendous gains from participating in athletic programs. Athletic directors and coaches must ensure that disabled students feel welcome to try out for teams and participate in intramural activities, as well as make all facilities and programs as accommodating as possible to all of their students. These regulations are enforced by the Federal Department of Justice. The regulations in its entirety can be found on the ADA website at https://beta.ada.gov.
New York State Bills A1201A and S2994A. These bills will require school districts to provide educational and support services to students with disabilities until such students turn 23. The bill has passed in both the Assembly and the Senate. It will then be sent to the governor to sign into law, if she does not veto it. If she does veto it, remember this at the next election. Helpful tips in case CPS opens a report on you. If you are the subject of a CPS report, your County Child Protective Services Office is required by law to notify you of the report in writing within 7 days. You are entitled to a copy of the report, however any information pertaining to the identity of the source will be redacted, as will any information about those who assisted in the investigation. The determination of the investigation will be either that the report is unfounded or indicated. If the report is unfounded, you will receive written notification from the statewide central register. If the report is indicated, you will receive written notification from the local CPS or investigative agency. This notice will also inform you of any right to appeal the decision of the investigative agency to indicate the report. The entire investigation must be finished within 60 days. A copy of the CPS manual can be found at https://ocfs.ny.gov/programs/cps/manual/. A link to the CPS manual can be found in the description of this week's show on our Moms Navigating Autism YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. An autism parent's backpack. When autism parents go out, they try to bring whatever their children might need to avoid meltdowns. Parents bring anything from food, drinks, DVD players, DVDs, clothes, batteries, games, books, which might be needed. All this in order to keep their autism child or adult person happy. If you see a person having a meltdown, or a parent trying to calm a child or adult person, don't be judgmental. You do not know what they are going through. A few kind words can go a long way. Autism parents learn to effectively minimize meltdowns by recognizing events and actions that can trigger their autism child, that can lead to a meltdown. They try to meet things head-on before things erupt and turn into a full-fledged tantrum, especially in public. So there will be less stress and anxiety for the parent and the child. Holiday tradition tips with your autism spectrum person. While we all love old holiday traditions, Some traditions are not adaptable for kids on the spectrum. Make new traditions that your autism child can participate in. Remember, be flexible. Just because your child may not be ready to participate in a tradition, it does not mean they never will. They might in the future. For now, let them do as much as they can, and then finish it for them. Don't force them to do something they can't do. The stress and anxiety levels will be much better when we are flexible with our autism kids. Autism Holiday Tip 3. Decorating the house may be disruptive for people on the spectrum. Looking at holiday pictures from previous years can help your autism child prepare for the change. Gradually decorate the house. Put your tree up one day. Hang lights on your tree the next day. And decorate it the following day. All while allowing your autism child to help decorate. This will allow them to accept the changes more easily. A stress and anxiety-free holiday is a good holiday. Remember, always be flexible. However the day goes, it is not a reflection of your parenting skills. The goal is to include your autism child in the festivities. Autism Holiday Tip number 4. Being an autism parent can be extra stressful during the holidays. Take it easy and make time for yourself. Sometimes spending just 15 minutes alone can help. Find something that reduces stress and clears your mind. Slow your breathing and restore inner calm. Remember, things do not have to be perfect. Being flexible will bring less stress and anxiety. A calmer autism child. And happy holiday memories. Importance of social skills for people on the autism spectrum. People with autism need the same level of social skills as their typical peers. They are the most important skills people on the autism spectrum can develop. Social skills include initiating conversations, making friends, having good sportsmanship, making eye contact, reading a person's body language, handling bullying effectively, and more. Find social skills groups in your area. Many organizations will have free social skills groups with the parents paying for their child's portion of the activity. Social skills groups for people with disabilities. Social skills groups are small groups, typically 2 to 8 kids, led by a speech therapist, psychologists, or a social worker who teaches kids or adults how to interact appropriately with their peers. The pandemic shutdown limited the social networks of many people with autism. Many people with autism have difficulty learning and working in a virtual world. Their social life is solely through schools, employment, or community programs. Programs got creative in their efforts to provide some sort of socialization for people with autism. Once they could meet in person during warm weather, they met outside while staying 6 feet apart. However, many people with autism still regressed in their socialization skills. For people with autism in residential placements and their families, it was harder, as they could not see each other for a very long period of time. Boy Scouts of America. Did you know? The first Chief Scout Executive James E. West had a disability. James West was born with tuberculosis and was crippled with one leg being shorter than the other. Today, Scouts with disabilities have opportunities to camp, hike, and take part in other unit activities based on their capabilities and safety. All across the U.S. there are free one-day clinic camps for people with disabilities. They range in all different types of sports: surfing, skateboarding, fishing, water skiing, horseback riding, skiing, skydiving. These camps are meant to help boost the confidence of our autism kids. Go online and search for them. I am sure you will find some near you. Tips for traveling with autism people. Airline flights can be challenging for people with autism. Some airlines have a disability assistance center that offer resources for travelers with disabilities. Tip 1. Plan a flight for when your child can sleep on a plane. Tip 2. Visit the airport ahead of time to help your child get used to the crowds, sights and sounds. Tip 3. Talk to your child about the upcoming flight and tell them about what it is like to fly on a plane. Tip 4. Make a list of trip rules and include rewards for good behavior. Tip 5. Incorporate time for snacks, meals and bathroom breaks on the day of travel. Tip 6. Bring items to keep your child entertained. Getting a haircut can be a traumatic experience for people on the spectrum. Try to find a flexible and patient stylist. Make an appointment when the salon is less busy. Some autism people do not like to have their hair touched due to sensory issues. Instead of washing their hair, ask your stylist to spray their hair with water. Many people with autism are very sensitive to the noise of clippers. So ask your hairdresser to cut their hair with scissors. The quicker the cut, the less anxiety and stress. Be there for your child to help him with whatever crisis he might go through. Prayer of a parent to a child with special needs is that we see our child live a long, happy life, and that we live just one more day.
Here are some helpful special ed acronyms.
Thank you, Altis, for providing us with this platform.
And we want to remind everybody that we are mothers. We are not professionals. We're sharing our experiences with you so that you can learn from our experiences.
All our shows can be watched on all social media platforms.
Don't forget, subscribe, like us, and follow us.
Have a good night. See you guys next week.